part of the country you're in. If you ain't at grandma's, grandma gonna whip that ass.
Awesome. Well, I hope everyone out in chat had a great time. So, all right, we got the chat set up. We are good to go. Let's get this show underway. Landmark Live is finally back. I'm so glad to see that Pentapod is back on the show as well. I think this is her. Yeah, right? it's so good to see her because she
Tenma's crushing.
Yeah, Tenma loves Pentapod. ever since SOE Live, that's all I talk about. It's like, Pentapod.
I scared the crap out of her when I asked her when she's getting a divorce.
That's probably not the best. But
live television, everybody.
But she, Pentapod,
it's great.
We were talking about it in TeamSpeak. She's one of the most devoted developers who just loves Landmark because she spends so much time in there. If you have her on your friends list, Domino, she's always in game, always doing stuff. So I'm really happy to see her back.
But that's that's part of her job is building stuff. I mean, she makes props and that type of stuff for and buildings and stuff in all the games she does. So for her, this is what she does, and it's so much more so than a lot of the rest of them who are more programmers and stuff like that.
Yep. All right, so let me run through the intro, and then we're going to get straight into the Landmark Live notes. It was a bit of a light show because there wasn't an update this week. We're not going to get an update until the 21st, Terry said. But we do have a lot of stuff to talk about because we got a massive patch before Christmas, and then we also have a lot of new upcoming stuff, which they kind of mentioned, which some stuff is very, very controversial, in my opinion, particularly with allowing people to edit the templates and how that's going to affect the entire player studio and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to dig into that during this show. So if you're just joining in, this is Landmark Weekly, episode number 5. My name is Cody. We have our guest Tenma, Geo with Landmark Explorers, and our not guest but panel Tenma, Geo, Landmark Explorers, and our special guest, my friend Infinity of Light. So the purpose of this show is to analyze the new updates with Landmark, how it will affect the community, and of course to promote outstanding community members and get direct feedback from you guys out there in chats on what is working in Landmark and, equally as important, what isn't working in Landmark. So make sure you type in question if you guys want to ask us a question. Again, devs are usually hanging out in chat watching, so they are a part of this process. Karain, my great friend, is going to be taking all those questions for us, sending it over to us. So really appreciate that again, Karain, and all my mods out there. I see Tozev's in chat. Thanks, Tozev, for modding as always. Really appreciate that. All right, so let's dig right into the linking and triggering. That's been kind of the biggest feature that has been implemented, in my opinion. And they showed off, at the beginning of the show, they showed off some basic things that you can do with it. They showed off a disco floor. So you walk on it, lights up, really cool. They had looping animations. Which I want to ask you, Tenma, because you have a programming background. They specifically said before Christmas, we don't want to have any loops, infinite loops, because that could cause lag to the server and stuff, right?
Kill the server.
But then, they're showing off these infinite loops and how it's.
But those are not. There's a difference. Those are not infinite.
Okay, can you explain to me what the difference is, or either of you? What's the difference between an infinite loop and then these cycles that they have in the game?
Honestly, I don't see the difference. If you turn it on and it is always going at all, unless you turn that switch off, it doesn't stop.
Well, you got two. You've got a perpetual system.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can interrupt the system, and what Dave was just talking about is a perpetual system. And then you have an infinite loop where you've got one item triggering another item, which triggers it back, and there's no way to interrupt the system. That's the difference. That would kill the server in a New York second.
Yeah, but as it stands right now, if I turn the switch on, it stays on. And it continually will loop and loop and loop and loop and loop until I turn that switch off.
But it's interruptible.
It's still an infinite loop. And I mean, if I take that switch and I put it to where nobody can get to it, it stays on. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
It's still a loop, and a loop is a loop.
And the question
that's
is,
the
how
way I
much
look at it.
process does that kind of a loop take, right, or eat up
Yeah.
over time?
Now-
Because that's like a continual usage of resources, right, to create a loop.
Well,
in a
one
server.
triggering the other, that can eat up a lot of resources. But when you've got a perpetual engine going, it's not as bad, not even close.
But,
1,000 Stars is asking about the duplication. Yes, you can copy. If you copy the prop and all the things that are linked to it, you can copy them all and paste them somewhere else, as long as all of the links and all of the parts are copied together.
Contained, in that selection box. Because if one
Yeah.
thing is outside of that, it's going to break the triggers, right, or the links.
I believe there was a bug related to that if you copy it and you paste it somewhere else, there is a chance that it will drop certain items off of your linkage. Some links will stay, some links will go, and I think that's a part of one of the bug fixes they're working on. We should see that fixed, and hopefully either in the hot fix or in the upcoming patch.
Okay. So also one thing that Pentapod added is consider adding a master switch to any kind of a link and trigger system, which I think is a great idea. Have one switch to turn it all off if things just get nuts, So I thought that was a good suggestion. Here's something. This is interesting. Timers are not on their priority, but they will be adding them. So Terry mentioned that I guess they have other things in the priority list as far as linking and triggering goes, but I'm kind of surprised. I thought timing
I think
would be
a timer.
number one.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well,
that's
I
a good
still want
question
the
to ask him,
random.
man.
I still want a random event. I kept asking my son about that.
Right.
Can they make a random? He goes. Technically, nothing in the computer system is totally random. And he said, you could do it with an on and off switch, but you'd have to have so many of them to get it right and to make it seem random. You'd have to do so much of it. And I said, so basically I just need to tell him that I need a random. He goes, yeah.
Well, if 13 switches equals 1 second, and I take 1 switch, 2 switch, 3 switch, 4 switch, all the way up to 13, and just have them go through like one on, like this, where it just cycles through like this, constantly, and each one affects only one of those other timers that I've set up with the 1 through 13, and you don't know which one's going to be coming next, and you could set that up as a random.
You're using the computer timing system.
I can't hear you, Infinity.
You're using a computer timing system.
A
Don't know
computer
why you
timing
can't
system.
hear me.
Okay, that's weird. I don't know.
Did I hit something? Did I hit something?
I can hear Infinity. But yeah, I agree. But I think just having a interval that creates or
mute
generates
myself?
a random number or something. No, we can hear you, Tenma. Can you hear us?
I can hear Tenma. I don't know why you can't hear me.
I don't think I pressed anything. Tenma? All right. Well, while Tenma gets that set up, I just want to mention that Infinity was looking for a random number generator because early on she was setting up a bunch of board games in Landmark, which was really cool. You had
Yes.
Oh, they're still
Shoots.
set up.
We need it.
shoots
I
and
still have 'em.
ladders. What was that? What did you call it? How they like it?
Tumblers and lifts.
Tumblers and lifts.
It's a shoots and ladders type game, and then I have the one that Corain, everybody sees it
Okay.
at Corain's house. It's the Ludo game that I built that Corain has a copy of, and then I have what I'm calling it Pardon, which is it's basically the Sorry game.
Sorry, nice. Yeah, and that's awesome. I love the idea of having board games in Landmark, but I think a random number generator, even if it's like you said, part of the linking and triggering system, would be very useful to have.
Yeah, because you could just go over and flip it, and so if as long as it would come up with some sort of random number so that I can do it, I would be happy. I asked Klug at the last time, Tenma had Klug on, and we asked him, and he said he was going to put it on the list, and I still hadn't gotten it yet, so still got my fingers crossed for it.
All right.
Yeah, it wasn't y'all, it was me. I like all my sounds stopped. I'm like, I'm like, I think you got yourself muted.
All right,
Nice job.
I'm gonna lower the stream volume just a bit, and then if you guys turn up the stream volume, you should be able to hear me properly. They were saying my mic's a little bit low, so I turned down the master volume. So just go ahead and turn up your Twitch volume. It should be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig into the general news today. So I want to first talk about some of the bugs that they mentioned. They are aware of bugs people have been seeing in the arenas for PvP. They're aware of all the new PvE bugs that have come out. They're aware of the area bugs where you're able to see the area tools on other people's claims. I guess you're not supposed to. They're aware of crashing when placing an attachment claim. And that's something that my buddy Dubious Contact had just ran into that issue. When placing a normal claim is fine, but an attachment claim, every single time he would get crashed. And it was weird because Infinity placed an attachment claim today. Nothing. So it's very random. I guess they said it was a client-side issue, so hopefully that'll get fixed tomorrow when they do that quick ninja patch.
Where me and Dubious, we did it in the exact same spot. So it didn't have to do with location. It had to have something to do with him. Because same spot, same exact spot.
Yep.
And we both tried to do it, and he did it and crashed, and I did it, and it worked just fine.
So I'm glad they're aware of that issue. That's good.
All I can say is y'all need to put y'all's claim right beside where mine is right now.
Yeah.
Me and George were talking about it on his show the other day. Oh my God. It's like every 15 minutes. Poof.
Dark Minstrel had to move
Every
his
15
dragon
minutes.
because the server just kept going into the ground.
I'd get in there and I'd be getting on it. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting some work done. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm like, I was like, I know it's Dave. I know Dave's around here somewhere. He's doing
He's
this.
invisible trolling you.
'Cause
They do that, by the way. They're invisible flying around.
I had placed one of that board claim. You remember the old board claim? Everybody remembers.
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh, that
Right?
thing was a beast.
I had that. I had compressed everything onto one claim and saved it as a template. And when Dave was asking for all these templates and stuff like that, I was like, well, shoot, you want a claim? I got it. Dropped it right down next to him over there. And it's been there for, God knows, over a month and a half or something like that. I had totally forgot I even had a claim over there. And don't ask, I don't know. And so I went into my menu one day and I was like, where the heck is that claim at? Because, it was there. And I was like, so I teleported to it. And I was like, oh, I remember this one. Well, when you have 3 accounts, they kind of disappear.
You have 4, you get confused.
So I get over there and I was like, holy crap, I got a spot right next to Dave. I can bug the crap out of him. So I got my claim down and I put all my attachments and I dug up a building that Daddy-O, Dark Lady, and myself worked on at early beta, which was this huge gate. It's just massive in scale. And I dropped it down and I was like, holy crap, I need to work on this, And I'd love to get up with Daddy and see if he wants to come over and work on it some more. But I dropped it down and it was like every 15 minutes. I mean, it was like I couldn't get nothing done.
You kept crashing?
Yeah, and I blame Dave.
Hashtag blame Dave.
I blame him.
All right, so
I blame him.
So real quick, guys, the next update is going to be January 21st. So we do have a little bit of a wait for that, which is unfortunate. And also, we have 2 weeks until the next workshop. So if you're into the workshops, if you're into the competitions and all that jazz, you are going to have to wait for that, unfortunately. And I'm kind of excited because ogres are over. The voting system's over. I thought it was really cool that they switched over from the old system where once you submitted it, it's gone. Don't worry about it. Now it's sitting there. People can come by. They can check it out, see what other people are doing. I think that's a cool system. Tema,
I don't like it.
You don't like
I don't
the
like
system?
It's tying up 6 of my claims right now. I could be building.
That's a good point.
I could be building,
That's a
and they're
good point.
tying it up.
I want to get rid of my claims too. My ogre builds. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's 9 claims, you know.
I'd rather have it all built and then and be able to submit, like the whole 9 claims all at one time. But like, bam, one big template, submit the whole darn thing. Be like, have at it, and grab what you want off of it. It's all good. I'd rather do that and still have my claims that I could, start working on the next project, like dwarves or Ixar or
Gnomes, froglocks.
or Georges or something. I don't know, but I'd rather be doing something like that, But I got 6 claims tied up right now and can't do nothing with it. I could be using them over there at my Bug Dave claim.
All right, thanks for that, Katina. They said switch my volume. It should be good now. Let me know out there, guys. And I'm interested in what you guys think in chat. Are you happy with the new submission system? Because it is a switch up. They're probably in flux and they're not sure what the best route is. I think the one advantage to the new system, Timma, is that they are actively commenting.
Textures.
Well, they're actively.
Textures.
That's important too. That's a great point. Textures don't move, so how you build it, how it looks to you is how it looks to them, as opposed to them taking a template, placing a world, and it looking totally off. So that is a huge deal, and I do like that aspect. But the other aspect that's interesting is that they are giving critical and active feedback during the voting process, in addition to the pre-submission process, which in the past, once the competition started during the workshop, they wouldn't really comment on builds, and it kind of, I thought, was a little bit of a waste of their critical feedback from the devs. So I'm glad that they're starting to do that. Again, they could do that with the older submission system as well. So
I like this system because I like being able to go and seeing what everybody's doing. And before, people would go from building and never put it onto the showcase, onto the gallery, and then would just upload it straight. So we couldn't. I mean, unless we were out just running around and happened to run on it, we'd never see it.
Yep.
And this, us as players and as a streamer, I get to go and I get to show it to my, the people who watch my stream, all of these great builds that these people are building. And I think it's wonderful for the game itself, just to showcase what the game can do.
Yep, definitely. And I like having that competition tab in the marketplace. It's nice to be able to, sort by the competition, because that's what I'm interested. I know a lot of you guys out there are interested in getting your stuff directly in Landmark and EverQuest Next. So to be able to see what is working, and what isn't working is really, I think, spectacular. If that's your intention, if that's what you want to do at the end of the day. So they're planning on doing a hotfix tomorrow. It should address some new some old bugs, I should say. Tweeted Felgon. He said that they already have the issue with the arrow keys, like shooting across your claim. It's so freaking annoying if you've ever dealt with it.
Yeah, I've been active on that particular post that was started by Tim, Tim, and basically he was getting feedback from one of the developers, Terranaut, Kenneth Roex, and basically they have removed the ludicrous speed option from the translate arrows, and
I love Spaceballs.
Yeah,
and
I basically asked, are they going to fix the pace movement arrows, which was the next one, and apparently what his response was, he was pretty sure he fixed that before they went on break, but it hadn't made it into live yet. So I'm hoping that will either go in the hotfix or into the patch.
Yep. So those are big issues. I think, one big issue that I've been getting recently, which the devs didn't talk about, which I was kind of surprised, was Control Z no longer working. Have you run into that, George or Timma or Infinity?
None. Have not happened to me.
Yeah.
Yes, Control. I have had a couple of times where Control Z wasn't
Stop
I
working.
just lost my ability to control Z. And yeah, it does get frustrating, especially when you're depending on being able to control Z something.
Right. If you
There-
paste into your build,
it's-
I mean, that's game over if you can't control Z it.
Yeah.
It's like there's a memory leak that is causing the memory for the clipboard to drop, and then once it drops, you've pretty much lost whatever you have up there. Some people have said that it only affects large selected areas, but I've seen it on small myself.
Yeah, it seems like once it starts happening, it happens until you fix it. And I've heard that the best way to reset it is just press any key on your keyboard when you don't have anything selected, and it should reset it. That's what I've heard. I'm not sure if that is the best way, but restarting your game is probably a good method too.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone in chat has any good suggestions for how to deal with that issue, I would love to hear it, because that's game breaking in my opinion. Not being able to utilize your clipboard, because it's so crucial when you're working. All right,
Yeah,
so
clearing
yeah.
cache might probably be the best way to help that. And I had to clear my cache once this week for that.
Just
and
turn
other
it off. Turn off caching. It's honestly, it's not even needed. Honestly,
Yeah. Well, that was the first
honestly,
time I've cleared my cache in 3 months.
the last time I was actually using caching, my cache folder got up to 18 gigs.
Jeez.
Okay, and I'm telling you,
If you're on a solid state, you're screwed because you don't have that much room.
I'm on a solid state.
I'm on a 5. I'm on a terabyte solid state drive, so I don't have that problem as what most
Yeah,
people do.
that's a nice solid state,
But-
bro. Mine's like a 256.
But there always is a button there. That is a lot of space, and I'm like looking at it like just like that, right? And so I deleted the folder and I went inside the game and I turned all the caching off of it. So it's just a waste.
Okay. Interesting. So you heard it here, guys. Consider turning or disabling your cache. All right, so here's something interesting. They're working on a new achievement and journal system, which will let you check off which recipes you have and which ones you need. So I think that's really cool. I'm glad to see that we're getting that. What do you guys think about the new achievement system? I know Infinity has been collecting those recipes tirelessly. And by the way,
There are 3 recipes that are not in the game, guys. There are 3 recipes that you can. There's 3 things that armor pieces that you can only get by drop. One is the Ring of Virulence, the reinforced chest piece, and forgetting what the third one is.
Dusk Helm
Nope.
or something.
No. The dust pieces are all. We got all the Oh, sugar. I know what the other one is, but I just can't remember it. But it's not one of the named ones. It's one of the other ones. Oh, it's the restoration gloves, I think.
Okay. So yeah, if any devs are out there, make sure to check out that list, see if those are in, because hey,
yes,
we need them.
Devlin. Thanks.
Infinity's
Those-
checking.
Those
Your library has been so much help. Thank you very much.
those gloves do still drop, don't they? Though
Yeah,
you
all
just
the
don't have
pieces
don't
do.
have the pattern.
So that's how you know that
Yes,
they're not there.
all of the pieces drop. Well, actually, I don't even know if all the pieces drop, but I know that those 3 drop as pieces. They just do not drop as recipes.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go over to George's and add his swords to my collection.
With your helmet.
I'm like looking really right at it. I'm like,
Oh, I like those swords. I like his new background.
he got some stuff I ain't got.
Yeah, that's cool. I watched.
Sorry.
I've been watching
Off
this.
track.
No, that's all right. I've been watching a YouTube channel on just like weaponry, medieval weaponry, and swords and stuff. It's just freaking fascinating to me. So I love that stuff.
I want one of the whole entire blacksmith thing, so I can go out there and just beat the crap out of metal all day.
Yep.
I don't
Put in
know
the
why.
Fire, put in the water, do all that.
Yep.
That sounds like fun, dude.
With the bellows.
Yep.
Reminds me of EverQuest 2. You're having to blow the bellows and all of that just to get everything done.
All right,
Man.
so here's something. They're working on a new system to let you gain permanent health and energy to your character. That's
wait.
in addition. Yeah.
Hold up, back up just a little bit because we kind of skip right over just a little bit on that talking where they said they're going to have the journal and you can be able to find out which things you're missing and stuff. We didn't really go too much in depth on that. And then of course the achievement system. But yeah, somebody was saying something on the stream about how do you know if you don't have something, and that's where that journal came into play. I just want to kind of explain that a little bit. So
Yeah.
carry on.
Okay.
Carry on.
And by the way, Jeff Butler, who is the creative director of Landmark and EverQuest Next, is in chat. So if you guys have any major concerns that you want voiced or any questions to ask us, we would be happy to address those questions. So again, just put question before it. Crane's going to take care of those for us. Really appreciate that, Crane. Okay, the journal system, the achievement system. I'm super stoked about that. I think it's going to bring a lot more to the game as a whole to get people more excited because, honestly, achievements might be lame to some people, but once you start collecting them, it's addictive, right? You want to get them all because for those OCD people out there, if you have a journal, that's missing a couple little pieces, you got to fill them in. That's just how it is, right? So, all right, so.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm picking. I'm sorry. I'm picking on Jeff now. ETA on the Karen Island, Jeff. Terry blew me off.
Yeah, Tim is dying to know.
I want to know.
When are we going to get that Karen? I mean, I have a Karen winner.
See him.
I have a Karen competition winner. Tema does, and I want to see those in game so bad. Yeah.
I asked it 3 times, and I'm like, "Come on, Terry, look at the screen. Look at the screen, Terry. Look at the screen, Terry." And then it would go do 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 and disappear. So I was like, "Yeah, he didn't see that one. Post it again."
Yep. Well,
good.
I wonder if they have someone that reads through the questions and sends it to them, or if they just read it right off the screen. I don't know. All right, but so let's jump into the new system about gaining permanent health and permanent energy. How is that going to affect gameplay? I mean, that's pretty big because there is no leveling system in Landmark, and everything is currently item dependent. So are we going to be able to collect these infinitely? Are there going to be diminishing returns? Will there be a cap? How do you guys think this system is going to work?
Maybe a tier system?
Can you expand on that?
Not come through?
Or a progressive tier system or something like that where, say once every 3 months they come out with some new gear, and it has maybe 2 to 5 more, hit points that are added to that particular gear versus the gear that was before it. And that way you have progressively different tiers that you could go out and collect. You have tier 1, the first iteration, you'll be able to find it on, the lowest levels. And then once they release the next tier, that lower tier goes up 1 level in the world, then the new tier comes under it. So depending on where you get it from.
But what they were talking about specifically was allowing you to gain permanent health and energy outside of armor and weapons. So this is something that's added directly to your character.
No, this is going to be from achievements, right?
No, they said you're going to be able to find these in the world.
Okay.
It could be tied in with the achievement system. I'm not sure.
I'd love to see that sort of thing tied in with the achievement system, so anybody has the ability to go earn that.
Yeah.
Something relatively not too difficult.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see how it works. It kind of sounds like they're kind of changing their stance a little bit because originally they said, we want to go with the MOBA combat style, or that's kind of what they were basing it on, and that would be more of a gear dependent style, right? Less stat specific. So if you're going combat, right, and one person has all these innate stats that he's acquired throughout the course of his gaming experience, that's going to make him more powerful than someone who just started, even if you have the same weapons. So that does create a little bit of an imbalance on the competitive aspect of things. So I'm a little bit concerned about it, to be honest. So we'll see where they take that. Yeah.
Every time I think of a MOBA, I'm always thinking of an overhead view, kind of like old school. God, what was the name of that game?
Age of Empires?
No.
Red Alert?
Gauntlet.
Okay.
Old school. Looking down on your character and you're like, you remember, but that.
I never played
No.
Gauntlet. Sorry.
I must be way too old. The original Gauntlet.
Age of Empires for me.
or the first 1-2 Diablos where you were looking down on your character.
Yeah.
That's what I picture in my head as a MOBA, and it's like wherever you're facing is where you're firing at,
Right.
and which I'm guessing that's the kind of mentality they're kind of thinking of here for this particular combat wise. I'm still a fan of tab targeting because them wisps, I can't hit them to save my life with an arrow.
Small targets.
No, better yet, I can hit them with an arrow, but I can't hit them with a sword.
Sword, yeah.
Pantera calls them the pigeons of Landmark.
Oh my
Freaking hates
gosh,
those
man.
They're
things.
so annoying too, man.
Yeah,
Little
so-
do.
that sort of thing. That way I could tab onto that sucker and wherever that hitbox is, it'll just take my camera up to it. Oh, there he is. Whack, whack, whack. He's dead. So
Have you tried the lousy approach? Just throw sticks of dynamite at it.
Nice. Love it. Dude,
I don't know if that works. I have no idea.
But it's
God,
fun.
that was
last
so
time I
funny, man.
checked, the dynamite doesn't kill anything. It just aggravates the hell out of it. I
you wanna
was
piss
throwing
mobs off.
dynamite, and I did not damage the mobs at all, but they all aggroed me with that. They really
Oh.
hate the dynamite.
Oh, that's funny.
dynamite needs to cause damage.
Yes.
Anything
Yeah.
non-player, it needs to cause damage.
Now we
Well,
had-
it wasn't
we-
when
yeah.
I was throwing it. I don't know if it's supposed to, but it wasn't when I was throwing it. It just made him angry.
I think damage via dynamite.
Cal Lurker says you can't craft dynamite anymore.
You can. Yes, you can. It is a drop recipe.
Oh.
Now. You have to find the drop recipe. It's called high yield dynamite, and it's a recipe
What?
that drops.
I'm
and it's
glad
a
I got
rare
100 in my bag.
It is a rare recipe too. I have it on my character,
Tal.
but I think I found 3 total.
If I have an extra one of those recipes, I'm sending it to you. Okay.
He needs to build up his
Let's see.
arsenal.
If they implement damage with dynamite, it'll be when they give me meteor rain.
Meteor rain.
Yeah.
Meteor rain
Nice.
and acid rain
Yes, I like it.
and all the damage that falls from the sky.
Oh, I want that so
You'd
bad.
be
Lightning
killing
too.
yourself with that, I'm sure.
Lightning would be cool.
I would be dancing in the rain.
All right. So here's something that really kind of upset me a little bit. I mean, it made me feel bad because Terry said they're shifting priority to EverQuest Next, and they're going to be holding back pieces that won't go into Landmark because of that. And I mean, they said it straight out, and I got to tell you, I'm a little bit upset about it because I thought, coming into Landmark, I thought Landmark was going to be, or everything made in EverQuest Next would come directly from Landmark. And I didn't think that these would be two separate things where some would be pulling from other places, etc.
Well, if it's not relative to the Landmark, I don't care. Although, it's going to be sad to see resources going from Landmark to EQ Next in some way, but how many of us are totally ready for EQ Next? Come on.
Honestly, in my
Suck us all
opinion,
into this.
honestly, do the shift. Go for it. I want to see Next. I want to see some videos of Next. I want to see that sexiness, But the cool thing is, if they put shift priority over to EverQuest Next and they go full steam into that, it's a trickle down again.
Yeah, what's underlying systems
We're
that
gonna
they need
get
for
some
Next are going to be in
awesome-
Landmark because it's the same engine.
You're going to see awesome stuff coming out of that because they're going to have to make more props. You're going to have to see, just all this other stuff. Now, granted, bug fixes are going to have to be coming, to fix stuff that we already currently have. They get all the bug fixes to what we have right now. Beautiful. They start doing the priority over on EverQuest Next.
Yeah.
They start making all these props and all this badass, sexiness stuff. Then all of a sudden it'd be like, hey, push that over to Landmark. Yeah, go for it. Bring it. So I'm
As long
happy
as they keep pumping out some sci-fi stuff and some modern stuff.
Right. That's I think that's a lot of people's concern. They don't want to they don't want all EverQuest stuff coming in Landmark, and then boom, it's all EverQuest stuff. So.
Jeff,
us
I'll
that
send that
box
to you
before.
after this is over.
Now you also got to remember that we're still doing competitions and stuff like that. So stuff that we do, we'll still be going back over into Next, so we'll still be helping them. And most of us who have been around since the early alpha, that's why we're here. And
EverQuest, right? The name.
Yeah.
It was originally EverQuest Landmark, right? Or EverQuest Next Landmark. So. I think, I agree with Tim. A lot of us, I'm certainly excited for EverQuest Next. So I just hate to see that, or hate to know that some of the programmers and developers, especially since we don't have dynamic water, we don't have the lava yet, we don't have the rivers and the lakes, and, we don't have air as a paste volume.
So, Cody, let me calm your fears there. Those
Yeah.
things are needed for EverQuest Next. It's going to get worked on. Guarantee it.
Well,
Guarantee it.
George knows what I'm talking about.
Hey,
That
Yeah,
stuff
bring-
is
if
needed.
we're going to be
Bring that
getting them,
sexy.
if we're going to be getting them because of EverQuest Next development, go for it. But that's
I think
that's
they
what I'm
were
waiting for.
saying that the only thing that one of the major things they were trying to explain that weren't going to be in Landmark was something about a battle cry, and
A
it
raid
sounded
call.
like
A raid
said
call.
Great call.
raid call. There we go.
Yeah,
So,
it'll be in
that sounds
EverQuest
like-
Next.
Yeah,
but
that
they-
sounds like a grouping thing that. I mean, could we use it? Maybe. Especially if we get our dungeons going and have raid mobs and stuff like that. But until then, we're not going to need that anyway.
There's no need for it right now anyway until we go into open.
Right.
I mean, player base is a big thing that you're going to need for a rally call.
But
Without a player base, then I'm the only one here. Let's go.
What's the point, right?
It's what's.
I'm just curious, what are they going to be holding back? Because they said, Terry said specifically, we're going to be holding back features that are probably going to be selling points, right? So would that include things like SOE Moat? Would that include,
Oh yeah.
What would that include? And I would just hope that we get things as soon as possible in Landmark.
Well,
but
SOE Moat has been promised in EverQuest Next. Now, if they go ahead and focus on EverQuest Next, they get all the intricacies on how it's supposed to link and all that kind of stuff worked out. It just bleeds back over to Landmark. Say, hey, we got it working. It's yours.
There'll be
And
a riot
and we have it on
with
us.
the Landmark community if we don't get SOE mode, man.
yeah,
I'm telling
seriously,
you.
we need that. I'm stoked about that. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
See, y'all missed it the other day because I found my two favorite emotes for me now: Sneak and Angry.
yeah, the angry. That's
That was
Nitrous,
funny.
isn't it?
I watched that on your show
Ah.
where your girl was not shutting up. That was hilarious. I was rolling. She just chatters, and she will not stop.
It's like forever.
She just she just keeps doing it. It's just hilarious to watch.
and then if you do like a strafe, she like turns like off to the side like that, and then she's like,
Oh no, you didn't.
and just keeps on, and then you run, and as your character is running, she's still going. I'm like, yeah,
That is
that's
funny.
awesome.
All right, so okay, we got about 15 minutes left. So guys, I want to thank everyone out in chat for hanging out with us. This is Landmark Weekly episode number 5. And if you want to have any questions for us, please put those in chat right now with question in front of them. Crane's taking those for us and we're We will try to answer them if we can by the end of the show. I want to talk real quick about the player linking and triggering builds that they showed off today.
Yes.
Freaking fantastic. And I got to say, that was like a rerun of the Morning Brew show because I saw so many of those builds on Gio's show. It was like,
we know
wow.
Emily's a fan. We know it. We love you, Emily.
That was freaking cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could have watched that show. I had things I had to do today, and I only watched parts of it. I wish I could have seen more of it.
So,
Yeah. I'm glad I took them over there. Took Dave over to Oils that day because he was like, "Oh, we're going to have this on Landmark Live," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. That was awesome.
Wow.
I'm glad I took him over there."
Yep.
Can you
And
imagine what
I
the
saw
linking and
it.
triggering builds are going to look like in another month?
exactly.
Ah,
This is just the beginning. And
we need a
to see
timer.
the
Timer.
complexity. Yeah, we need
No.
a timer. That is like highest priority for linking and triggering.
And and
the
the other modes.
Yeah.
Give us the 7 triggers in a single unit and a timer. You get those items. We got an i7 going on inside of the game. Yes, y'all did y'all get that tweet? Did I tweet it out? Oh, it was so funny. Let me see if I can find this. This is
Well, Nyquist over at the Nanovoxel Guildhall, she put down a board that she made, which was really cool. That had and, or, if, and a machine, which constantly run. It was called a motor. And those were like basic programming principles, just using the linking and triggering system. Really, really cool stuff.
Yeah,
that they're
that's on the
already doing
logo
with it.
claim.
Yep.
That's on the logo claim, not on the guild claim.
Okay, so it's over on the Nanovoxel logo claim. So check. I think you can search that in the gallery.
No, I haven't put it into the gallery yet. I can do that when I get back, when we get out of here.
Okay, cool. But either way, make sure to hit up Nyquist if you're interested in learning about linking and triggering. She is really a wizard. Really awesome.
okay. Yeah, I found it. It's it was put out by PC Gamer, and PC Gamers basically put out a tweet that said someone has made a working word processor in Minecraft. My reply to that tweet was, "Give us a month or so, and we'll have an i7 processor in Landmark game." LOL.
Nice. I like it. Seriously, though.
Classic.
Seriously, if you look at what they can do in Minecraft, the possibilities are infinite in Landmark. It's just incredible. Because we have so much, such a better user interface and such a better system to implement, that kind of technology. Those kind of in-depth scripts, and once they get in the Dungeon Master system, it's just going to be out of control. Out of control. All right, so real quick, let me just run through the list of the builders that they showed off, because I want to give a special thanks to those guys for showing us what the potential of this new system is. We have the Phoenix Rising by Gorton. Freaking awesome. That was where the bird shot up out of flames. And I think Gorton is looking for more emitters. So if you want to hit him up with some fire emitters, I'm sure he could have a good use for him. The Bat Tech Lab by Clarity, that was cool. Was that the one with the box that turned into a room? That was cool.
I think
that was really cool. There was the Light Stage by Sir Ryan. He's a member of
That thing's looking
Colossus.
fantastic. Oh my
really
god.
Cool. And he's going to start streaming too. He said he's going to do like
Yes.
some kind of dance
Can't
party stream with it.
Can't wait, man.
That's
Can't
going to be
wait.
cool.
That was cool.
Yep. We have the Starship by Adjor. Really beautiful. The Landmark City by the Blockheads. I haven't seen that yet. I saw it way back in the day, but the
Over
train
by the
system.
courthouse. You got to go over by the courthouse.
Okay, yeah, they said.
What is on the courthouse?
Yeah, what is at the courthouse? We
Oh,
can
there's a
talk about
DeLorean next to it, man.
Oh man!
it. Nice,
High five.
Yeah.
nice.
That's awesome.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't think that would.
That's why they couldn't talk about it.
That wouldn't be an IP violation, though.
Oh,
It's a DeLorean.
It doesn't
you
go
gotta
back
see
in
it, man.
time.
You got to see it.
No. It's a
the car.
DeLorean.
The GMC
It wouldn't be
violation.
an IP violation.
Yeah.
It's a GMC
No.
car
They've
violation.
got the thing that the DeLorean goes through.
Doesn't
The
matter.
trigger.
Oh.
Dude,
It doesn't matter.
straight out of Back to the Future.
DeLorean went out of
awesome.
business.
No,
DeLorean
it's an
went out of
IP
business.
violation
They
of
don't
Back to
own
the
it.
Future.
Back to the Future.
Nope.
Well, does it have the wire that attaches to the top? That would make it an IP
Yeah, the
violation.
flux
Yeah, that's got
capacitor.
that.
Oh,
It's
got-
But
lightning
No,
wire.
the wire that hit the, he
Go
had
see
the
it, go
crosswire
see it,
and
go see it,
used
go
it
see
the
it.
whole time. No.
Blockheads, you rock. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Seriously though, that building's
unless
amazing.
it said Back to the Future over top of it, that would be the only time it would be an IP violation because they do not own the rights to DeLorean.
Well, either way, they were being safe.
It was cool,
so-
man. It was cool. You gotta go see it.
Yeah,
It's funny. Oh
the-
my god.
The
Wet
train
myself.
that ran into the building, I totally didn't expect that at all. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
we were
what just
just-
happened? How did that explode in Landmark?
He's got a panel
It
that
was
that
like
folds
that.
in and reveals the damaged area, and when you watch the thing at night, you can't even see it.
That is so
yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah, it
brilliant.
was like, how in the world did he do that? It's so cool.
If we could just get moving trains and stuff now, oh my gosh, man.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I want a train. I want a train in
Well,
Landmark.
I want anything that can move that you can attach voxels to.
Yes.
You
yeah,
know,
like
if
a,
we
a
could
moving-
move
Mhm.
things and attach voxels to them, would be so cool. Anyway.
Yep, like a platform where
Yeah.
you just plug,
Mhm.
like a Lego platform. You just put on the stuff and then
Yeah.
it goes.
I just want to make pie fly around my claim. That's
That's all I want. Come on, Jeff. Hooked you up with
Really?
some flying
We
pie.
need it.
So we had, yeah.
Only if you broke out one of those old Omid faces.
I have one templated. So we had the Little Green Men by Dave G, which was awesome, using the little, the little antennas that were moving, really cool. And then the Juggernaut by Oil, which wow, I saw that on George's stream, freaking cool. The best part was the
we got
showers, I
clips
thought.
of almost all of these over on our YouTube channel and some on our
It's-
Twitch stream.
Yeah, that clarity one
Wait.
was awesome. Look, that bug that's feet were moving.
Oh, yep.
I thought that. Oh, I mean, because we went and saw Clarity's ogre build claim, and one thing I said is that I didn't think it went along with Style got enough to actually go anywhere, but it is so freaking amazing. I mean, it's,
she like melted all of our computers
oh
at
yeah.
the same time. It's like, oh my god, now I'm scared to go near her builds. It's just,
Oh, you want to see a nightmare? You find the bottom of her ogre build claim.
I know. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god.
I went in there and all I could tell Cody was, I am in a nightmare. This is
Literally.
a nightmare.
Literally.
It was
that-
it was weird and awesome.
Most of that stuff that they showed tonight was at the pinnacle. I mean, Sir Ryan's freaking dance hall. That was another one.
Oh yeah.
That is pretty amazing. I mean, it takes a lot of time, a lot of patience. For me, it would be like sitting down at a piece of paper trying to draw out things like.
Yeah.
And look, everybody watching, if you build a dance floor
Yeah.
like that, dude, please put it in the gallery so we can find it on Landmark Night Live.
Tweet at Landmark Explorer. Let them know because you guys visit all the cool
Yeah.
builds. And if you're looking to go see what is in Landmark, make sure to hit up the Morning Brew every weekday morning over on Landmark Explorer. It's a really cool show. Real quick, I'm seeing in chat, Toutlurker saying Clarity's a guy. I think Pentapod said it was a she. I think Clarity's D-Man, if I'm not
It's
mistaken.
D-Man.
Yeah, D-Man
Yeah.
from
D-Man,
chat,
oh,
so it's a
alright.
guy. So
Oh man,
now we know for the future.
well, that
Sorry,
helps.
D-Man.
That helps. Yeah, D-Man.
Wait,
Yeah.
what did Jeff just say? Clarity's ogre farting pit. I was quite pleased that it provided for a crosswind.
Jeez.
That
Awesome.
oh my
Okay,
gosh.
Oh.
so we only got about 5 minutes left. I have collected a list of December bugs and requests from some of the community members out there. So I wanted to run through that real quick before we do the wrap up. So let me just run through it. I want to get your guys' feedback. If you want to add anything to the list, if you have any questions out in chat, please let me know. So first, Aowin says, sometimes I can't leave a group, and that must be some kind of bug. I'm not sure if it's a Euro bug because they said they were working on a European grouping bug. I'm not sure if it's already been addressed. I wrote, when you disconnect from game, you get removed from a group, and that's kind of an annoyance, especially with all the crashing and stuff that goes on in the cave. So if it's a possibility, I would love to stay in the group even if I get kicked out and have time to reconnect. When group members die, the death icon does not show up in the group menu, And also, sometimes the death icon will stick, so they will appear dead infinitely. Items don't stack once you put them into your inventory. That's definitely annoying for the people like Infinity who are trying to collect all these recipes, collect the journals, collect the emitters for the guild, and it's
I
really
would love to see the broken stuff stack.
Yeah.
If nothing else, the ones that are exactly alike, especially those little broken picks, ugh,
Let
those
us
are
stack.
nightmare. Yes.
We have 40
still-
chests full of broken stuff. Yeah.
I would like
Yeah,
to see.
I spent
And-
2 days breaking that stuff down.
I still want to see a third, or excuse me, it would be a fourth tab without the timeout tab. Or with the timeout tab, it'd be 4 tabs. Have a tab that is specifically designed nothing but for props that you have already created.
I would love that.
Well, they said they were
separate the
dealing
prop,
with that.
right?
They said they
Yeah.
were going to deal with that. They said they were making props are going to be resources.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
changing props to
okay.
resources.
I
So they're
remember
not.
But
They're,
that'd be fine too. But as it stands right now, it's like props eat up way too much of my inventory, and I'm maxed out. I only normally have maybe 10 slots open, just because of all the props that I have right now.
but the way it's
Um,
sounding is that you won't be able to make it until you find your first one out in the world.
Yeah.
So they're
Okay.
going to be. I mean, it's not like you're going to automatically have them. It had something to do with. I mean, they were saying something about having to find them in the world.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see that new system, but I do remember them talking about it. I am excited. I hope they separate the props from our inventory somehow. So Liz says the crystals that we're getting need to stack higher than 100, and they should be tradable.
Oh,
And-
definitely.
yeah.
They are tradable though.
Oh, they are tradable now.
Yes, they are already tradable.
Okay.
But yeah, having to send them at 100 a pop when one of the lowest, some of the lowest level things need 400.
That's
I mean, that
kinda
makes
silly.
no sense at all.
Yep.
They need to be in the same stack size, the 10,000 minimum stack size that everything else.
That's kind of like dirt filling up
Yeah.
your inventory.
Yes,
when you're
it is nasty when it's filling up your inventory. I've had that problem.
and it's like you have this like 500,000 that you have in your inventory, and then all of a sudden when you get the overflow, it comes in 10,000 at a time or whatever, and it's like
Not manageable.
Man.
Yeah, that's
it's
yeah.
it's
and
crazy.
They need to increase that number, I think, as well. A1 says when crafting, it's hard to tell how many you get per craft. For instance, healing potion gives you 10 per craft, but it's not very intuitive that you get the 10. She was assuming you only get 1, so she overcrafted and made like 100 when she only wanted 10.
Oh,
Yeah, that need to be
it
put
says
in
it on that.
box.
It says it on that icon now.
Okay,
We're used to it. Didn't
okay, used to not. So
It needs to say this
it
will
would
make.
say like one.
it needs
Yeah.
to be right in
Yeah.
smack in front of you. I think it really needs to be more prominent. Voxel Vision says the saloon door left cannot be created, and the saloon
Mhm.
door right can't be triggered. So those are
Mhm.
two issues that we
I
definitely
think
need to
Terry
look at.
spoke something about that in the show.
Okay.
That those are things that there were a couple of things in the game like that were not unintentionally broken.
Okay. I have here the island names are difficult to read on the island list. They're
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
small. So if you could increase
The coloring
size.
is a problem. The coloring is a problem. The color of the words in front of the pictures is causing the words to be hard to be read.
Right. So increase that. Put an outline. Increase the font size, something like that, so we can see where we want to go.
And I got 2 additions. Number one, the new ropes that they implemented into the system overrode the current rope color. It used to be like that tan color.
Mhm.
All the
Yeah.
tan color ones turned gray.
Really?
Yes,
I haven't
all
heard
the-
of that.
All the old tan
Oh,
ones
no.
turn like that grayish
Okay.
color.
So when we go to the Karen Island, when it comes out, we're gonna see a bunch of gray ropes,
Yep, you're going to see gray ropes instead of tan ropes.
and that's when they'll know. That's when
Now-
they'll know.
And the tan ropes got moved somewhere else. So to make a tan rope, to replace what used to be a tan rope which is now a gray rope. If you go over to Karane's
Sounds
place,
like they could fix that. Sounds like they could fix that.
yeah. If you go to anywhere that has one of the current, one of the old ropes that were out there, they were that that tan looking color. And
Jeff just said that was not intended.
Yep.
yeah,
With a frowny
okay,
face.
exactly.
Yeah, with a frowny
Yeah.
face.
Gotta include that.
All I know is like on the Karens when they go to place those suckers down, instead of having the tan ropes and all of a sudden everything's the white, it's gonna look a little funky there. And everybody who has them and has put them into like the ogre builds, they're putting in the new ones, and then if it changes, guess
Back
what?
again.
It just changes again.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're right.
that's
a
going to
good
be pretty interesting there.
That's a great point.
The second thing I was going to bring up was me dying every single time that I teleport.
Right. Yeah, I've had a lot of complaints about that recently. And that's using a teleporter, right? The
Yeah.
teleport pad is killing you.
No.
Teleporting
I'll
to
be in
another
in a
player.
minute.
You tell him, woman.
Yeah.
Get him.
Yeah.
Sorry,
She's
Hubby
doing a
wants to
show.
watch Survivor, and I'm sitting here doing this show, and he's like,
Jeff Probst can wait.
I am going to watch Survivor. I'm like, you just hold on a minute, I'm not done yet.
Yeah, I do have a request on when you're zoning in, when you're teleporting somewhere. Wow, the current solution is not working. It's not working for me because
I have
you're
a
doing this.
solution.
You're doing this, whew, and it's
I have a
that's hard
solution.
for people to watch.
And you're traveling a lot, George. So
yeah, on our
Jeff,
show.
listen to George. He travels all around, checks out tons of builds, and if he's having issues with teleporting, that means that everybody's having issues.
I have a solution on the log in, log out thing. As for the teleport, I ain't figured it out yet. But a log in, log out, swim out in the middle of the water, then log out.
For the other one, for the jumping issue, hit your map button. Your map loads faster than the world does. Hit your map button. That usually clears it up a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it's still.
It's a loading problem.
That one.
You're
yeah,
loading
that one,
too slow.
They make us float for a few seconds. I don't something, but
Yeah, put us in a
stasis.
stasis field, or whatever. So we gotta figure that out because it is game breaking.
Or don't put us in the game until it's all
rendered.
there.
Right.
Yeah. I'd
So
rather look
that
at a
leaves us
splash
in-
screen
I
than
still think
this.
that
Vibrating.
I still
tremors.
honestly think that when you put down a primary claim, you should get a pad, and that pad the player
Is where
can put
people
anywhere they want to. If I teleport to any one of those claims that's attached to that primary, it
go to
goes to
that.
that pad.
That would be
And
great. Now there's the solution
Yeah.
right there, man.
They sit right on top of it.
And that could be a craftable prop, right? That you find a recipe for or something.
Yep. And as long as they're standing on that pad, they can allow everything to load. They won't fall through the earth. They won't fall through the sky. They have a central point that they can lock onto. That would solve a lot of the teleporting issues. Now, teleport to a friend, not so much.
Yeah,
Not
but-
unless you want to attach it to
Look,
the head of the
I love
person.
the idea, man. Let me take that one step further. So you have your claim vendor standing right next to the teleport pad that hands your visitor a beer or something when they come in, so
Nice.
they don't
I
get
like
the motion
it.
sickness,
Well, it
buffer it a little
solves-
bit.
The
You
pad,
have to have yours landing right next to the bar man.
the pad would actually
Come on,
solve.
landmark.
Yeah,
What do you got in that coffee?
that pad.
No,
would
it's
solve,
you, Gio. It's you.
The pad would solve another problem
Yes.
on top of that,
What's
and that is location of where people are teleporting
Right,
in. If
to give
I
them the
want a
grand
person, if I want a person to teleport right at the front entrance to my build of some sort, it goes right there. That's where he's at. If I want him to go on this side instead, he will go over there if I put the pad over there. And that way, I have people coming in. If I want them to drop into the blackest hole in my claim, I can put them there.
Yep, I love
think
that.
it's going to be necessary. That's going to
but
be
there-
somewhat necessary anyway for dungeons.
Yeah, and there's got to be like a 15-foot radius with no landmines.
Yeah, yeah. I
As
would.
fun as that might be for some
Oh,
people.
I got.
Well, I
that's
don't
another-
see why people couldn't do that either. I mean, that's the choice of the owner of the claim. You might be a little bit
It's-
scared to teleport to the claim, but if that owner of the claim wants to blow up everybody who steps foot in there, then that's their choice.
They took damage away from the mines.
So now they just stun you, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that made me sad.
All right, so real quick, Calvary says guild or friends should be a single permission group to give quick permissions to.
Oh,
I think
yes.
that
Yes,
is a great
definitely.
idea. So that would be where you could say my entire guild can have access to my claim and be a builder on my claim, or my entire friends list can have, visitor rights to this specific claim or whatever. But creating two, primary groups of friends, and maybe even have a blacklist of enemies and say, or blacklist of people that you don't trust, that could be like, they're not allowed on this claim. If
You
if
can
it's
already
open claims.
blacklist people. You can just set. You can blacklist people. All you gotta do is put
Yeah.
it
Put their
on there
name.
and then say no access.
Right, but
Now-
maybe one blacklist, and then you could say, when you go to your claim permissions, you could say the blacklist, no permissions. You know what I mean? Where you're having groups instead of having to individually type each person's name every time you place a claim down, because it is very frustrating.
I like grouping, but adding the whole entire guild or adding the whole entire friends list to a claim, it just sounds like a nightmare waiting to happen.
Well, right now it's
As for a
definitely a
group-
nightmare. But when you're doing like, you're going for your guild build, and you want the whole guild to be able to build on it, but you don't want people outside the guild to mess the build up. I mean, that's what you're going to need it for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I know in the case of you, Timmy, your guild's huge, but and that may be a little bit less wanted. Plus, most of y'all's the Colossus builds are community builds and not guild builds. But smaller guilds, it's still Helen Wills trying to put everybody's name in there.
I would like to totally just dump that whole idea and just give me drag and drop. Drag them off of my friends list, drop them onto the claim.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that'd work.
As long as it's not laggy, because a lot of people are complaining about the chest and having to drag items into the chest from your inventory, and the amount of time and the delay between that. A lot of people are looking for like a double click or a shift click to automatically
Yeah, that was what I was
go into
telling
your
you
inventory.
earlier.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, being able to do a shift click to take stuff out of a chest and put them into your inventory.
Yep. I
Just
think
like in
that's
most
needed.
games. Most games have it already, just to be able to do.
Yep, and where it like automatically stacks or something. That would be cool. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so we're running over our time a little bit here, guys. So let me just run through the last two things real quick. Micaiah writes we should be able to copy from a competition submission claim if we're the owner. So with the current claim submission, we have our claims up, and you can't modify them. But however, we should be able to copy them because, for instance, Micaiah wanted to take elements from her build and put it on a different build, but because it was locked down and part of the competition, she couldn't edit it. So she thinks that would, and I agree. That's like a simple thing that you guys could do. Just give us copy permissions on our submissions. Real quick, disabling behaviors of props should remove the rollover effect as well. This was a suggestion I had. So Pentapod talked about it a little bit today. You hit that little broken link icon and the door will no longer open. However, when you put the cursor over, it creates that yellow outline, which is really immersion breaking, and it shows exactly where the hidden door is, so it defeats the whole purpose if you're trying to go with a hidden door thing. So if you guys can remove the yellow outline, the rollover effect essentially, if the prop is disabled, I think that would be a good thing to
Yeah,
do.
what Corain just said, when you're giving claim permissions to a claim, to be able to only have to type the name once for all, like, up 9 claims, and be able to add people to the whole set instead of just them one at a time would be great.
Yep.
Maybe a link button where you
Link
you
all
can
the
actually
claims
you can
together.
link just the ones you want and then have all the permissions come off of that one claim. And then if that one's already filled up the way you like it, you can click this one, click that one, press link, and it would link the
Oh,
the
yeah.
permissions of the two.
Yeah. That would be great.
Control Z
I-
bug
I
is to
can do-
promote
I
H1Z1.
I can do I can do this stuff all day, man. Like seriously, I can come up with all kinds of shit.
That's awesome. I'm excited about H1Z1. I think that's gonna be cool. So I'm probably gonna be hitting that up a little bit. So if you haven't, if anybody out there doesn't know what H1Z1 is, a new mob, a zombie survival mod worth checking out. Okay.
Definitely looking forward to H1Z1.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I know your husband plays a lot of DayZ, so I hope he gets into that.
My husband runs a DayZ server, so
Cool.
yeah.
That'll be
We're
cool.
hoping to get him transferred from DayZ to H1Z1.
Yeah, and eventually maybe back into Landmark, right? Because that's my home. That's where I spend my time. I love Landmark.
I don't know if he'll ever
No,
come to Landmark.
Maybe one
But
day.
he said he did promise me that he was going to design a dungeon for me to
Ooh,
build. So
that's cool.
Good.
Nice.
that's my hope.
Okay, so let's wrap this show up, guys. I want to thank everyone out in chat for hanging out with us today. This has been Landmark Weekly, episode number 5. George, what do you got going on this week?
Well, there's no Landmark Nightlife tonight.
Okay.
Devlin's not able to stream tonight, so we'll be on the Morning
Aw.
Brew in the morning. So come see us, guys. We're going to be touring lots of crazy stuff, linking and triggering. And if you got a dance floor out there, let us know.
Yeah.
And if you got any linking stuff that you've done, shoot us a note there on Twitter. That way we'll get it and we'll come see it for sure.
Or even if it doesn't have linking and triggering, still take it to George.
Yeah, take it to George.
Yeah, bring it, guys. Yeah, that's as long as you don't mind us jumping on the beds, spilling a little coffee or beer.
I think Pantera's
That's
been in more beds in this game than any of the other guys.
Or if you don't mind us breaking your linking and triggering. Oh my God, I think Pantera and Devlin crashed Gorton's Firebird,
Oh,
his
nice.
Phoenix. Yeah, that was. Ooh.
So,
Oh,
What's that?
there you go.
Timma, what do you got going on this week? Oh, the zombie mask. I like it. Oh, does that say H1Z1? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool.
Another
I'm jealous.
prize
I'm jealous.
collection piece from SOE Live.
Yeah.
So, what do you got going on this week, Timma?
Work.
Working.
Work.
Unfortunately, basically this. The only 2 days I really have off are Sundays and Mondays, and I usually spend the Sundays with the Colossus crew and doing whatever they want to do, or focusing on other stuff. You know, like trying to get some videos made, which has been a really slow process since I started back to work. But Mondays are definitely my streaming days right now, and of course on Wednesdays I'm here with you. So. But that's pretty much the current schedule, at least for me right now.
Cool. All right, so make sure to follow Tenma, follow George. Infinity, what do you got going on this week?
Oh, finish up the ogre tours with you.
Oh, yep, that was a
we
blast.
gotta get those done. I think we still got quite a few left to tour, and then I'll be starting working on the videos for Barrett's board.
Oh, very cool. So,
I've got a video series that I'm going to do for Barrett's board, so people know how to build his board, use his board, all that type of stuff.
very cool. I look forward to that. Awesome. So, I started a new guild recently called Nanovoxel. So, we are definitely actively recruiting. So, if anyone is interested in joining Nanovoxel, we are dedicated to building things that will go into Landmark and EverQuest next. We're focused on tackling those workshops as a guild and trying to, give an opportunity to people of all different skill sets, all different levels of building skills, whether it be any kind of talent that you have. You can bring it to us, and we can hopefully put it into something that goes directly into Landmark or EverQuest Next, which is super exciting. So if you want to check out that, you can go to nanovoxel.com. That's the website where my buddy Knock has been helping me out building a brand new website. We got a bunch of stuff there to check out. So be sure to visit it. Consider joining us. And that's it for me, guys. That's it for the show. This has been Landmark Weekly, episode number 5. I want to thank everybody for being here, especially you guys out there in chat and all the devs and all you guys here, George, Tenma, Infinity. And don't forget, guys, as always, keep up on your upkeep.
Thanks.